All right, guys, and the next player we're going to be talking about is going to be Sataoa Laumea. Sataoa Laumea is a guy that was a staple offensive lineman for this Utah team. And you can take a look at the PFF grades, right? In 2020, he gets 360 snaps, starts to show that he can be a starter, below average grade, though. Then in 2021, he really came on, especially the second half of that year, where he really started to step up and show that he could be a down in, down out offensive lineman and be a playmaker, especially in the run block. You see that consistently throughout his time at Utah, where the pass block was never good, even bad at times, but the run block was always pretty impressive, which is what Utah, you know, make sure their line's good at. And I think probably some of that's coaching, right? It tends to be a trend with Utah offensive linemen where they're really good at run blocking and not so good at pass blocking, or at least leaning the run block direction, right? And with a guy like Sataoa Laumea, you see as time goes on here in 2022, 57.6 grade. But let me be super clear. Every season, this seems to happen with the Utah offensive line, where the first half of the year is just real rough. I mean, I don't know what it is about that first half of the year for the Utah offensive line, but it's just a rough time. And then the second half of the year, they figured things out and the grades start to get a lot better. So that's the story of 2022. But still a solid run block grade, really bad pass block though. And then in 2023, well above average in the run block grade, still not great in pass block, quite below average with a 54, 65.4 overall grade. And his 2024 three, I don't know if I said 2024 earlier, but 2023, it's kind of a story of ups and downs where he would just have really bad games and then really, really good games. Hard to explain it really, because it wasn't like the talent always matched the game. It never seemed to click game in and game out. It was more of a flash type of deal. And you can take a look here. His RAS scores are not very good, right? Especially because he didn't do the 40 and he didn't do the agility testing. And I think when you're a guy like him that didn't have crazy numbers on the other thing and isn't a locked in first round pick, I think that's kind of a bad sign. And I don't want to be negative here because I do think Sataoa Laumea can be a very good prospect. Draft Buzz actually has him as a fourth round pick. I think I've seen fifth, sixth round as well. Like he's projected to get drafted for sure. And he's been a staple starter for Utah for a while. So it's no surprise people would want him on their team. It's a tough one though, where it's a lot of inconsistency. I think what you're getting with Sataoa Laumea is a guy that with the right offensive line coach can be really, really good. He's a good run blocker already, probably serviceable run blocker at the NFL level. And at the NFL level pass blocking though, he's going to struggle mightily. Especially if they keep him at tackle. I think you look at his size, I think there's a really good chance he's going to get moved into guard. And I think that could be a really good option for a team, especially, pass blocking is much less important for a guard than it is for a tackle. It's still important. He's still going to need a good coach to fine tune that. But the good run blocking can make up for some of his deficiencies in pass blocking. But I would say overall, if you do draft Sataoa Laumea, I would imagine you're going to want him to take a year to develop, or maybe 2 years. And I'm a fan. I really am. I'm a fan of Sataoa Laumea. If you want to see him have success, I don't think he's like a plug and play NFL guy right now because of the pass blocking struggles that have just consistently been there year in and year out. But a good player and a good run blocker and a guy that does have the potential to be an NFL starter. So that's how I feel about Sataoa Laumea.